Well, Dave, this is quite unusual speaking to you after a defeat. It's not happened for so long. What was your view of the game today?
I don't think we deserve to lose. Second half, the way they obviously changed their shape and took potentially one of their biggest goal threats off and match systems, which maybe was an indication of how the game was going. And all of a sudden then it becomes an arm wrestle, it becomes individual battles. I thought that like I say, that part of the game and beyond that was a bit of a non-event, if you like. Two teams matching each other and not really the game being open, but they've obviously gone on and got a goal from a set piece, which is one of the game. I think first half we were on another day the game should or could be over after 20 minutes. Yet we're sat at 1-1, and maybe that's just I suppose the difference in terms of them having twice the amount of points we've got and them sat in the top of the league and us sat 14th. The margins are fine, but performance-wise, I thought we were brilliant and justifying of a lot more than what we've got today.
It was interesting. You mentioned that change on the hour mark. They brought on 2 subs, but I mean they moved about 8 positional players, didn't they? They moved players around and switched to a back 3, which is actually a tribute to you, isn't it? That they've got to match you up, but then they got that goal so quickly after that. Were you unsettled by the changes? What actually happened, do you think?
No, not at all. You look at, we've obviously got a free kick. There's a potential foul in that free kick. It's not nailed on by any stretch, but there's some contact. We then don't defend the ball out. Ball goes down the side. Crosby has the opportunity to tackle with his left foot. He tackles with his right foot. The ball breaks. They get a corner. Corner in terms of how it works, we defend it the first ball pretty well. The lad smashes a shot in from 30 yards. Ben tips it onto the crossbar and it drops for one of their players. Sometimes in football, as critical as I can be, sometimes you need that little bit of luck. And if Ben makes more of a significant touch, rather, it goes out for another corner. If it's less, it probably hits the other side of the bar. Or if it's the touch he has, it's got 20 players to drop to and it drops to one of theirs. So sometimes best planning in the world can all go out the window because lady luck shines on you, and that's a moment in the game that has ultimately cost us. It's
only November, so that game, that result is not going to dictate who gets promoted and who doesn't, but as a kind of a benchmark, as a measure of the evolution that the county's on at the moment, what does it tell you about where Stockport County are today?
It probably tells other people more than essentially what it tells me. I've got real belief in the group we've got, and I think we're one of the best teams in the league, and I think we can be up there competing. We have to do that on a consistent basis, but what you've got to take from today, if you're looking at opposition, is that all the time, if your opposition prevent you playing well or you're not having a great game, how can you influence a game of football and make sure you get 3 points? And that's what they've done today. So you have to give, like I say, credit to them and plaudits to them for that. Because unfortunately, in football, the best team doesn't always win, and the best team on the day doesn't always win. That's taken out of your control sometimes. But in terms of where we're at, like I say, I have real belief in what we are, where we need to get better, what we can improve on. But I think hopefully for the people that turned up today, they can see where we are and they can match it off what the benchmark is at the moment for the team that are sat clear in the table.
As it stands now, we come into this quite an intense period. I mean, you've been through so many Christmases now as a footballer and as a manager, you know what it's like. Do you have a concern at all about the depth of your squad? I'm thinking particularly at that top end. You know, if Paddy or Woods, if anything happens to them, it's looking a bit thin, is it?
Not really. I think we have Challinor obviously out on loan at the moment, and Noob's out on loan at the moment. We knew through November certainly we were playing two league games after the Tranmere game. We were playing 2 league games, so they could have stayed in with us and maybe played 1 FA Cup tie, or they could go out and get 4 or 5 games. So that's what's happening. Noob's has scored again today, so he scored 2, which is great, and Connor's got 90 minutes. I think we would be very unlucky to lose both Woods and Paddy. We have the opportunity, as we did in the last cup tie, to mix things up in terms of Ollie and in terms of Connor Evans. Miles can play higher up if we need him to. That we have options there. Like I say, we felt it was a good opportunity. What we're sort of moving towards, like you say, after that Christmas period, we're moving towards January, and opportunities then open themselves up to potentially be able to do something from our perspective. But I'm pretty comfortable where we're at. Like I say, Connor's certainly at Altrincham till I think just after the Hartlepool game is when we're away. Is their last game when he's there. So we have the opportunity there to for that to come to a close if we need anything. But I'm pretty comfortable where we're at.
And in terms of the FA Cup tie that you mentioned, Charlton away next week, great to be going to a ground like Charlton, but you've got to feel for the fans. I mean, no trains running. It's a horrible one, isn't it?
Yeah, it always works, and the FA Cup kicks in, and you get to these stages, and even the third round, you look, it's at a time of the year where people are tight on money because of Christmas and all those different things that it brings, and you completely understand that. We wanted the lowest ranked team at home, absolutely nailed on, because that brings, like I say, opportunity to get to that third round. It brings the potential prize money and all those things. I know that regardless of how many are able to go, and like I say, massive credit to the ones that can, we know they'll give us our full backing. We'll do everything we can to go there and win, and make sure we give them the chance in the third round to draw a home tie and be here and it not have the problems, if you like, getting there, and hopefully we can draw a plum tie. We know next week will be tough, but we go there in, like I say, in a good place. And I think sometimes games set up to be exciting games. I think this will be an exciting game because we know that they'll play, and we're going to go there and be positive and try and press. So their strength is in possession. One of our strengths is out of possession, and we're going to go and sort of see how that figures. So I think it'll be a really exciting game, one that we feel we can go and win, and we'll do everything we can to make sure that happens.
Thank you, Dave. Well, lucky today. I think everyone agrees. You probably deserve something, but unlucky today. Well done. Thanks for your time.
John. Thanks, mate.